Here I am, trying something new. I'm going to try the headphones today. There's lots going on here in the office, so it's kind of busy and noisy, so I thought this might make it easier for you to hear me. Okay, I've got this light down here. I don't like it. Still need a lighting person, clearly. Hey, Doug. Let me know that you can hear me okay, because I'm doing the microphone thing, so I'll take it out if you think it's not good. Oh, I'm not sure it will work. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a what's up, thumbs up, if you can hear me. Well, I'm sure you can hear me, because you'd say if you couldn't, right? But I think it makes it so that I don't have to talk as loud if I use this microphone, if I use the headphones. That's my thought. So I see people are here. Yay! Don't know if you're here unless you say hello. Just so you knows. So you knows. Got my notes. Got my water. Yay! Stay hydrated. Really hot in California right now. Like crazy hot. Hey, Joanne. Screen readers, yay! And yeah, so it's Gatekeeper morning. We're so excited. Have you seen the news? Have you seen, like, we have so many people joining. It's like so cool. Hey, Kendra, good morning. It's California morning. Is it hot in Texas? I don't know. Are people like, whatever. Oh. The notes. We're on it. So I heard a good quote the other day, and I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it both. We're going to talk about this with our screen readers today, too. If you didn't know how old you are, how old would you be? That's the greatest, right? We put all these things on ourselves, like how old are we based on a number. Hey, Bart, we've got the screen reader. It's so great because we have, and I'll explain this, but for all of you newbies, so most people watch this in the replay, so that's why I just kind of dive in and get going. I mean, I kind of riff and joke around at first just to kind of get us warmed up, but we have two groups. All right, let's roll back. So Hollywood Gatekeepers, that's where we are. That's where you are, because you're really smart. So you joined Hollywood Gatekeepers, and I know most of you are watching this on the replay. But Hollywood Gatekeepers is the freebie, the free stuff. This is the page, and Doug, right, Doug, is going to share it into the group. Yes, because we also have a Facebook group. So if you're on this page and you haven't joined the Facebook group, you definitely need to do that. That's very important. So join the Facebook group, and then in both the Facebook page, but primarily in the Facebook group, we give away a lot of free stuff. We do a lot of freebies. We do a lot of stuff. So those are the kind of the two levels to sort of get you started. Also on this page and in the group, you can join the mailing list and get even more information. So we try to get you kind of warmed up, kind of get you acclimated to what we're doing here. And then we also have a paid version. Well, in between that, actually, we have free workshops that we do that are about an hour long, and where we really kind of explain what a reader is, how you can do it. We give you some tools to get started. That's all free, and we give you all the free stuff that you can get started. And then we also have a paid course if you would like to work with us, where we really, right, guys? we really help you, like, one step at a time, kind of go through what to do and how to get a job and all that. So that's kind of how it all works. Yes, and the free workshops are coming very soon, very, very soon. We'll be announcing that next week, the exact times and everything. So that's how soon. So that's kind of the trajectory, the path that people take in this. And so you'll hear me, once you're in the course, in the paid version, then you're in the screen reader course. And so when you hear me refer to screen readers, that's our gang, that's our tribe, right? Screen readers. So once you're in the screen reader group, we do these Facebook Lives where I do them here, and we talk about all kinds of things. And then we do, right after this, we do the screen reader Facebook Live, where we really, like, it's more class builder. We're really teaching and diving in and one-on-one questions and that kind of thing. In here, we're just kind of explaining what we're doing. We're talking about things that might be holding you back and that kind of thing. So they're a little bit different, very similar, but a little bit different. But it always makes me laugh, because the first people that jump in the Gatekeepers are the screen readers, because they just can't get enough. They just can't. And I just love that about them. And we're having so much fun in there. And honestly, it really, like, inspires us to, keep coming up with new things. And as they can attest, like, we keep adding more stuff. And now we're starting to bring in guests to the class, which we're really excited about. And it's just been a wild, cool first year. So that's that. So as you can see, well, hello, Garrett. I love that name, by the way. I had a friend named Garrett in high school. So those are kind of the levels of gatekeepers into screen readers. That's what we're doing here. So then in here, what we're doing right now, if you're new, and have you seen like hundreds of people every day? It's so exciting. And also we've got hundreds of people joining the mailing list too. We're really growing really fast. Super excited about that. And yeah, it's very exciting. So what we've been doing, if you haven't noticed, is it is now July, which is the first day. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. We need screen reader bumper stickers. I know screen readers are waiting on some swag. Look closer. Anyway, it's the first day of July, or the first week of July, which is the first month of the second half of the year. So last week we did Happy Half New Year, which was the eve of July 1st, and we've been doing Happy Half New Year, celebrating setting resolutions, or kind of re-examining your resolutions that you may have set in the beginning of the year, because we feel that resolutions are more like they can become a burden as opposed to something that inspires you. So we just kind of want to get everybody to kind of reset, re-going for the rest of the year. And part of that, I just noticed this framing. So if you don't know my office, if you're new, we have our office, and then we have, because we have scripts, and then this is a book I wrote, and then games, because you never know when you might want to play. I don't know, what is it? Operation. You choose. Anyway, what was I saying? So it's Happy Half New Year. So what we're doing now, because the free workshops are coming up, and then we're opening enrollment to the course. So during the enrollment period, a lot of people give us reasons why they can't do it. So we're trying to address those reasons now, because most people give the same reasons why they can't do it. So the first one that a lot of people say is money, that they can't afford it. We really have tried to price the course that's in keeping with other things like ours, and with all of the stuff that we're doing and the hands-on work that we're doing. So if we feel that we want to give you tools if you're not ready or you can't afford it right now, to where you can get to where you can make it a goal. So that's why we did the SMART goals, and we did some things about money. So just go back in the episodes that we've done in the previous weeks, and you kind of look at that and kind of suss it out. And then the next reason that we get is time. People are like, oh, I just don't have time. And as our screen readers can attest, some people started the course a year ago and haven't made it through yet, because they're fitting it in. Everybody's got, it's a crazy world out there. We've all got crazy schedules. So everyone's trying to fit it into their world. And so some people, they drop in and out. They come in for a little while, and then they work, and then we don't see them for a while, and then they come back. Some people purchase or enroll in the course, and then they wait and start a little bit later. Like, we get this wide array of how people are doing it. Some people just jump in, dive in, and crank their way through. It's really varied. So we wanted to talk a little bit about time today, so that later, when the enrollment is open and we're taking in new students, and people are trying to decide what they want to do, and they feel like, I don't know that I have the time to do this, they can come back and they can look at this, and we can provide some answers to that, regardless of whether it's for this or anything in your life. We want all of this to sort of apply to everything. And the other thing about being a reader, so we're readers, we've read screenplays for a long time, and we've learned kind of the sidetracks, pitfalls, the reasons why you might get work, the reasons why you might not keep work, how people let you go, like what are all the kind of ins and outs and everything. So it is very much a freelance position. You are working often with more than one company, very usually. And then, there are some times where you might get just a job as a reader for a place, but mostly just like movies. Businesses are formed, LLCs are formed for a movie, and then they close after the movie's over. So in the movie industry, there's a lot of turnaround, be nice to everyone, because the person that's I'm trying to think of it, the person that's an entry-level position, like a receptionist or something, one day is running the studio the next. So it really is, there's a huge revolving door. There's a lot of bells and whistles. So it is very much a entrepreneurial spirit, this job, because you have to kind of maintain your own. You have to know what your own deal is. You have to be able to manage a lot of different things. And so we feel that that's one of the major things that we want to teach in here. And it's also helpful for your life. So no matter what you're doing, we feel like all of these skills, whether it's about money or time or happy New Year or whatever, that's all going to feed into your just lives in general. How's that for a soapbox? my bow. So how are you today? What's going on? What's today? Saturday. You know what today is? Today is my father's 91st birthday. Thank you very much. When I was a kid, we traveled to carnivals, and he built spook houses, and he attached them to the family station wagon, and then he loaded up the kids and the dog, and we went around the country doing haunted houses. True story. I'm a carny kid. I am. I used to live in this little pink bathing suit and run around the fairgrounds with no shoes on. My hair like total. I can spot the carny kids a mile away when I'm at the carnival. Yeah. When you're on a ride next time at a carnival, look down and you'll see like along the perimeter of the carnival, and even the little, we didn't really do too many of these, but the little ones that pop up on the corner, and you'll see campers. That's my house. Right. Got a million of them folks. He's a very creative father. He's still very creative. And so he's 91 today. And I think that one of the reasons we have such longevity, his father, which I'm writing a book about, who's even, well, I was going to say more, but just different, creative in a different way, lived to be 100 and something, 103 or 4. Yeah, my aunt, she's 87, she sits on the floor like like yoga style and like talks, and then she stands up with no problem. She's like 87, just pops right up. I'm like, they're amazing. They're super exciting. So anyway, happy birthday, Dad. Carney Kid Carolyn, that's me. Yep. So okay, I'm going to tell one more Carney story, and then so we traveled, and next to us, often in the space where we traveled, was a Native American group that did these beautiful performances where they go out and they do these dances and have these like rings and fire and feathers, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I loved in the fair circuit you have different tracks, and so we were on the blue one, and sometimes they were on the blue one, and if you're on the yellow one, you're going different places, and then every once in a while you come together. On the blue one, you're traveling together, and I was always like, let them be on the blue one. And so we would, whenever they were there, I just like lived in their camper or whatever. I just loved it. And they dubbed me Black Feather. And I just was like, I would make up these dances and I would build my own little feathers. And I just, this little like crazy little rugrat, And years later, like recently, my brother goes, well, you know why they called you Black Feather, right? And I was like, no. And they said, because you were so dirty all the time. I was like, oh. And then he said they did it with love. They thought it was cute, but it was because I'm like, literally like crawling underneath the camper and then coming out and doing my little dance. Okay, so that might give you a little insight why I'm like all the time. Anyway, sorry, don't know what got me off on carny stories. I've got a million of them. Eat something healthy, get a corn dog. That's the phrase in my family. So anyway, time, just like that. Not a carny kid anymore. So Black Feather. That's what I should be. We should be Black Feather Productions. What was I thinking? Anyway, so yeah, so time. So that's one of the things that people, they complain about, or we never have enough time, right? Which is why I love the saying I mentioned earlier about if you didn't know how old you are, how old would you be? Because it's all just relative. What does it matter? My dad doesn't act like he's 91. That's for sure. And he's got a 60-year-old wife, so just saying. So anywho, so what I thought we'd go over today, and we've done a little bit of this before. Actually, I'm going to pull it up. We've done a little bit of it before, which is the Eisenhower's box. It's a really great tool, that Eisenhower. Kind of a smart dude. And so I'm going to pull it up so I can refer to it. And then I'm going to give you a link so that you can use this too, because that's the kind of gal I am. That's how we roll. Okay, so I want to be able to see your comments. Doesn't do that big. So the Eisenhower developed this box, and it's not like Helena. Total movie reference there. The box of Helena's box. Kim Basinger. Sorry. No, she wasn't in it. She was sued for not being in it. Anyway, I'm on sidetrack today. Sorry. So it's a really great tool. And if you don't know this, or if you do know it, you can push snooze, or I'll see you later. So basically what he did is, I don't know if you're like me, but I'm like sort of, Doug can attest, I'm sort of obsessed with my task list. It rules my life, and I try to let it go, and I go through phases, but this is a really great way to sort of decide what to do and how to do it. So if you feel, so basically he took things and he put them in 4 distinct categories, and he did a little chart, which I'm going to give you the link to. I can't share our screens in Facebook Lives, or at least if you can, I don't know how to, otherwise I'd just share it. But so basically you've got things that are urgent and things that are not urgent. Then you have things that are important, and you have things that aren't important. It's pretty simple, right? So you might have something that is really bugging you, like you need to get it done. And I also am a firm believer, well, not a believer in procrastination. Like, I don't think it's a thing. I think it's something that we use as a tool to not do things. But I think if you're procrastinating about something, it's just not a priority. It's fine. Like, let yourself go. It's cool. It doesn't matter. If it's not a priority, it's not a priority. Don't beat yourself up about it. When it becomes a priority, you'll do it. Like, it's one of those things, like, and sometimes deadlines. That's one of the reasons we do the course, and we do like enrollment periods, so we can set some deadlines and kind of get people on track. I think that's a way to use contests. If you want to enter your screenplay in a contest, you can use those contest deadlines. Go look at screenplay contests usually have tiered deadlines where it's cheaper if you enter early. So this would be a great time. Happy New Year. For the rest of the year, go look and see what contests are out there and see what those early deadlines are, even for the next year, and plan out your script writing to those calendars. So that way you aren't spending quite as much money in entering a contest, but it's helping you get it done. And I really think that that's a good way to use contests as a tool. So that's how I feel like, that's why I think that procrastination, if you've got something that I gotta get this done, until someone goes, whatever, someone, either an external thing, gets on you to make it happen, or you have an internal thing where the not doing it becomes more painful than the doing it. Because as much as, people are motivated to do things by pain and pleasure, basically. Those are our two motivating factors, pain and pleasure. And so a lot of times we do things because they feel good, but a lot of times we finally will do something because the pain of not doing it finally outweighs the pain of doing it, is really what it boils down to, which is great when you simplify it like that, because it gives you an opportunity to really let go of all that what ifs, right? Like, it doesn't really matter. So by doing this urgent, and so then you have things that are urgent and important. You have things that are not urgent, but they're important. And then you have things that are important, but they're not really urgent. And then you have things that are neither urgent nor important. So let's work our way through it. So, and then he put this together where, okay, so if it's not urgent and it's not important, delete it. Take it off your list. Get rid of it. Like, let it go. Let it go. If you have something, and I have a few of these still that I haven't quite let go yet, that have been on my task list like for years, where it's like, oh, I really want to do that thing. And actually, learning French was one of them, I have to say. I spoke French in high school, a little bit in college, and kind of let it go. And then it was like, oh, I'm going to go back. I do want to learn that. Well, now my college son happens to be dating a French girl. They live in, well, she's Canadian. They live in Montreal. So it's kind of sparked my whole thing. So now Duolingo is now a thing, which is awesome. So I'm learning French. So that was something that I didn't even have it on any kind of list, of course, but it was something that I had been toying with, like, should I delete that? Well, now it suddenly got moved up to, it's not urgent, and it's, it's just something that's not urgent, and but it's important to me. So now it's become a thing that I'm doing. So if it's not urgent and it's not important, toss it, kick it to the curb. I love that expression, kick it to the curb. Let it go. We could sing a song about that, but we won't. But now it's stuck in your head. Okay, so then if it's not important and it's urgent, so if it's something that it's not really important to you but kind of needs to get done, is there someone else that can do it? So that, as a parent, that one becomes a big one, because sometimes it's super important to your kid. Well, if it's important to your kid, it becomes important to you. But if it's something that is sort of needs to happen right away, like trash really needs to get taken out, but you're in the middle of working or you're doing something, is there someone else that can help you out? Take the trash out. But that's a really mundane example. However, life is primarily mundane examples, right? I mean, we want to have these extraordinary lives, but really, no matter how extraordinary your life is, you win an Oscar one day, the next day, trash still needs to go out, right? So it's like those things still have to happen. So it's whether or not, and sometimes, even in that world, is it worth it? They say, oh, someone else will be taking my trash out. Well, if you have someone else taking your trash out, that means you got to figure out when they're coming. There's a whole bunch of other things. Sometimes it's easier just to take out your own damn trash. There's so many metaphors in there, and I'm going to totally let go. But yeah, so if it's something that needs to happen right away, but it's not really that important, can you delegate it? Can you give it to someone else? Take a look at that. So really, when you get this box, when you download the attachment, you can start organizing things into these boxes, and it has a really cool, you can see it. It's very clear. I can see it. It's awesome. And then if it's not urgent, but it's important, it needs to happen, but it doesn't need to happen today, then you schedule it. Those are the things that you schedule, and you decide, when should I do that thing? When will it become urgent is a lot of the thinking behind that. But can you schedule it, as opposed to like letting it, this is just a way to like kind of clear your mind of it. And then if it's urgent and important, you do it. So everything kind of, it's like a funnel, and everything kind of, actually it's like a backwards funnel. Everything kind of gets squeezed down the toothpaste tube to where it becomes important and urgent. So that's just a kind of tool. It's a pretty common tool, but I hadn't heard of it until fairly recently, actually, last year or so. As we do this course, and as we do things about being an entrepreneur, and I'm constantly, I don't have it with me, shoot. I am constantly reading, like I'm sort of obsessively reading, and Audible loves me, and learning. And right now I'm reading a really great book called The Great Pain Deception. I tell you about the book, The Abundance Code, which is another good one. And then I also take classes. So I was in James Wedmore's class, Stu McLaren. So if you don't know these names, these are all kind of online people. Amy Porterfield, and I'm Evan Pagan. I could go on. So I'm constantly learning as much as I can, and then I'm funneling it and kind of rearranging it into a way that I can share it with you. So it will help you, I hope, in anything that you're doing. And all of this can be applied to writing. So, and we feel, Doug and I feel very strongly that if you are a reader, you are a writer. We say this all the time. Own it, because if you're a reader, basically readers read screenplays, and then they bundle those screenplays down into a coverage. So you need to be able to write to do that, and write well. A producer needs to be able to read that coverage, really understand what the screenplay is about, really understand where you're coming from in terms of what's good and bad about that screenplay. So you need to be able to write well to be a reader. So if you are also writing novels, books, screenplays, whatever, comic books, you can use all of these tools for that. So what else we got, Doug? So that's kind of what we wanted to go. And then, so that's just making sure. And then next week we'll talk a little bit about, we'll be announcing when the next enrollment period opens up. And then we'll also be talking about being a writer of screenplays and why being a reader helps with that, or, kind of the marriage of the two, like why it helps to be a reader if you write screenplays. So you don't need to write screenplays to be a reader. And some people say, well, if you're reading screenplays, you better have had a film produced. Great, Olympic coaches, not all of them won gold medals. A vocal coach is not Beyonce. Beyonce probably has a vocal coach. There are people that specifically know a certain thing about the process. So you don't need to be, you think that an Oscar-winning producer is going to be taking time to teach people how to read screenplays? I think they're going to be out producing more movies, right? However, that Oscar-winning producer has been relying on readers to do their job so that he or she can do their job. So we feel pretty passionately about this. And so, pshaw, that's what I have to say to people that put that qualification, because people that says more about them than what we're doing here, because people that put those kinds of obstacles in their way. So I can't even read and help someone. You are helping as a screenwriter. One, you are helping a writer fulfill their dream. Hello. You're helping a producer get a project off the ground that's worth millions and millions of dollars. There's so much value in that. If you're going to put an obstacle in your way that you have to be an Oscar-winning producer before you can help someone build their dream, okay, well, good luck, doing whatever that day job is. It doesn't really make sense. So in my world. But what do I know? I'm a carny kid. Just eating corn dogs. Actually, I don't eat corn dogs, but I used to. Pancakes for breakfast. Well, no, I did that. No, milkshakes for breakfast. That was the other thing. Anyway, so that's our story, and we're sticking to it. If you have questions, please let us know. We also answer the questions in the emails. We, as you know, well, you might not know because you're on the Facebook page. If you're in the Facebook group, when you join the Facebook group, you have the opportunity to ask questions. When you join the mailing list, we have a little thing in there where you can ask questions. We want your questions, and then we actually go through those questions, and that's how we come up with topics. We look at, and a lot of people say, oh, I don't have time for this. It's a big one. So we thought, okay, people are talking about this quite a bit, and we hear it like it's pretty much the major one we hear once enrollment opens, is that people don't feel like they have the time. And then we also have in the enrollment process, we have where you can join, you can check it out, and we have a guarantee, a money back guarantee if you feel like you can't do it. And that is the number one reason people go, oh, I just don't have time. It doesn't matter. You take everything on your own time anyway. So you can put it in your Eisenhower's box, wherever you might go. Some people choose to delete it, which is great. If they feel like they don't really just can't do it, we only want people that are, in. We want people in. Because we're in. We are all in. So that's my story. So that's it for today. We will see you actually next week. Today, Saturday, we're going to do Wednesday. We're back to our regular Wednesday times, which is Wednesday at 2. Right? No, actually next week it's going to be Wednesday at 1. And the screen readers, you'll see why in our course, in our Facebook Live, Zoom. You know what I mean. So we're going to do our screen reader class next, and we'll talk about the schedule. So next week, 1 p.m. We'll talk about reading and writing, but no arithmetic. There is arithmetic involved, a little bit, but we won't talk about that tomorrow. All right, guys, it's so great to see you. Say anything. It's my favorite course, movies. Okay, anyway, I will talk to you soon. Great to see you guys. All right, see you next week. Bye. Bye. There's a delay too, so I'm going to wait. Bye. Say bye. I'm going to say goodbye. Say bye. Okay, bye. Bye. Okay, bye. No, really, bye.